Hi, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to use Excel in order to confirm a process of buying 10 cars for $24,000, basically buying one car every 3 years for the next 30 years, versus just buying one car right now. So what I've got here is a worksheet that uses a couple of functions, really just a payment function and then some basic formula in order to calculate this scenario. So we start off with the possibility that you might want to buy a car. Assuming the car price is around $22,000, you're going to put $5,000 down. That means you'll be financing about $17,000. You get a 6% interest rate car loan for 48 months. Your monthly payment's going to be $399. Now, over that 48 months, you will have ended up paying a little over $24,000 for the car. That's the monthly payment times the 48 months you paid it, plus your original down payment. So $24,000 for the car. And because you financed this car instead of paying cash, you ended up paying an extra $2,000 for finance charges. So that's one option, and a lot of people go that route. They buy the car, they finance what they can't pay up front, and they make car payments. So they live making car payments. Let's look at another scenario. Over the past 30 years, 60 years, 90 years, stock market S&P 500 has earned over 11% annually. So instead of borrowing money to buy a car, let's check out this scenario. You invest your $5,000 that you were going to use as a down payment. Do this into an S&P index fund. And every month, you add to that account. You add the $399 you were going to make as a car payment. And you do this over time, month by month. After about 3 years, you will have accumulated over $22,000. You take out $17,000, and then the next month you sell the whatever car you were driving before. You sell that car, and the money you get from selling your old car, you put into your account. So you had built up around $22,000, you took out $17,000, that reduced the account balance. Then a month or so later, you added in your car sale price, and plus you keep on making those $399 payments. Really, they're investments to you. You keep on making those $399 payments until after you've done it for 4 years. That's what you would have been paying anyway. Remember, if you had financed a car for 48 months, you would have been making car payments for 4 years. So after 4 years, your account is built up to over $17,000. And then from that point, every few years, you withdraw from that account. Okay? So after 6 years, you make a second withdrawal. This time you're going to get a car for $18,000. You pull out your $18,000, buy your new car. There you go. A month or so later, you sell your previous car, and the proceeds from that sale go back into the account. And you keep doing this over and over every 3 years. Let's go ahead and scroll into the future here. 21 years down the road, you make a withdrawal, and then you add in the sale of your previous car. And you keep doing this for 30 years. Basically what's happening here is every 3 years you're getting yourself a new car. Now, technically the car is not brand new, but if you get yourself a car that's just 2 years old, the greatest appreciation has already been realized, and you get yourself a damn good car. 2 years old, you're paying cash. And then right after you buy your 2-year-old car, you sell the previous one, which is maybe 5 or 6 years old at this point, and you're really making some good money doing this because you don't have to make car payments at all. You made car payments for the first 4 years, but after that, you're just living off of the gains from your account. Okay, so that's the Excel spreadsheet that kind of demonstrates the rule, demonstrates the process. Now let's create this worksheet. I'm just going to go and jump over to a new blank sheet here, and let's go ahead and do a little bit of setup. I'm going to go ahead and start in cell row 2 just for the hell of it, and I'm going to set up a little car calculator. Car price, down payment, interest rate, the number of months, monthly payment, total paid, and finance cost. Excellent. Okay, and let's plug in some numbers here. $22,000 for the car price, $5,000 for the down payment, 6% for the interest rate, 48 months for the length of the car loan you might get. Okay, and our monthly payment equals the PMT function. The interest rate is simply going to be the cell that contains our annual interest rate divided by 12 to get a monthly rate, comma. The number of periods is a cell that contains the number of months of our car loan, comma. The present value is going to be a negative version of the car price minus, minus the down payment. Keep in mind, car price minus down payment is the amount we're going to have to borrow from the finance company or dealership or bank. Close that off, and there we go. So our monthly car payment is $399.25. The total we pay for this car is our monthly payment times the number of months we've paid it plus our original down payment. So for this $22,000 car financed at 6% for 4 years, you really pay over 24 grand. The finance cost can be determined by taking what you really paid, the total paid, minus the price of the actual car. There we go. So that's how much we had to pay in finance cost. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of formatting here. I'll select this group of cells. Go ahead and give me some borders. And let's see, how about if we also do some background colors on there. There we go. And let's see, I'm also going to do a little bit of formatting. I'll go ahead and format some of these cells as currency. And let's get rid of the decimals. Don't really need those. Okay, so this is what we have so far. If we're going to buy a car straight out, $22,000 car, 5 grand down, 6%, 48 months, payments about $400. Total paid is $24K, finance cost is $2,000. Let's look at the alternative scenario. Now for the alternative, I'm going to jump down here and let's just go ahead and make a little cell here for our rate of return. Oops, there we go, 11%. And let me just do a little formatting. Emphasize that. Now off to the side, I'm going to keep track of the date, our monthly investment, the gain from each month, any withdrawal, and our account balance. There we go. And let's see, I will go ahead and just grab one of these cells, format painter. Let's format those. Make them a little bit wider. Excellent. Take those, align them to the right since they're going to be containing a lot of numbers anyway. Okay, so now we've got the setup for our scenario. I'm going to go ahead and start by plugging in some dates. So I'll go ahead and start off. It's currently February, so let's say March 1st, 11, April 1st, 11. Okay, so I'm going to take all of these and I'm just going to go ahead and drag them all the way down. Oh, went a little too far. Not that there's really a limit, but I'll go to 2/1/2041, 30 years down the road. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of dates in there. Now, I'm going to start to set this up. The first row is probably the toughest, but it gets easier after that. So making this for 30 years is really not any more difficult than making it for 10 years. Okay. Now my first investment is going to be 5 grand. I'm not going to type in the 5 grand manually. I'll actually click equals and I'll click on the cell that contains my original down payment. There we go. 5,000 is the first investment. Now in the first month, I'm going to say there's no gain. Maybe we put it in near the end of the month, there just is no gain. In our first month, there's also no withdrawal. Now for your balance, that's going to be equal to, at least for the first month, your investment plus any gain plus any withdrawal. Technically, withdrawal is going to be a negative number, so we can do an add there. So our balance at the first month is 5 grand because that's just what we put in. Now, let's go to the second month. For the second month, my investment is going to be equal to what I would have done as a car payment. So I'll just equals B6. And I'm going to make this an absolute reference so that other cells will refer to cell B6, which contains the monthly payment for my car. There we go. Now we can do something interesting with gain, okay? Because remember, we've already put in $5,000. Now we've got $399 in there. So let's do this. The gain in month 2 is going to be equal to the cell containing our interest rate. Oh, take that back. It's going to be the cell containing our annual rate of return. There we go. I'm going to make that an absolute reference since many cells are going to refer to it, divided by 12. Okay, so my annual return divided by 12 is my monthly rate of return. And I'm going to multiply that by, it's going to be the balance from the previous month plus any investment. There we go. So my gain in month 2 is going to be almost $50. My withdrawal is still going to be 0. And the ending balance calculation here is going to be pretty close to the same. My ending balance in month 2 is going to be equal to my previous ending balance plus any investment plus any gain plus any negative withdrawal. There we go. So at the end of month 2, I've got $54.48. Excellent. Next order of business is really a bunch of autofill. Okay, I'm going to take this autofill right here for it's my second investment, my investment in month 2, and I'm just going to kind of drag this down, and I want to go to about 4 years into the future. Okay, so $399. I'm going to go down to February 1st of 2015. Okay, so I'll just drag that down. There's February 1st, 2015. I've put in those $399s. All right. After that, by the way, it's going to all go to 0. So let me just go to March 1st, 2015 and put a 0 in. I'll do a little format painting here. Okay, and I'm going to autofill the zeros for the rest of the time. I'll just double click my fill handle, zeros for the rest of the time. Now for these other ones, it's going to be really easy. My gain calculation is the same in every month, so I can just autofill that all the way down. Don't worry about this right now. My withdrawal is going to change, but for now I'll just put in a 0 all the way down. Just double click that fill handle. My balance calculation, autofill that all the way down. Excellent. What we've got right now is a future value calculator. Basically, you put in a $5,000 investment and then invest about $400 more per month for the next 4 years. At some point you stop, but your money keeps growing. Over 30 years, you'll end up with over $500,000. Not a bad way to go for just 4 months of payments. So you might want to just stop here and not even think about buying the car. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to pause here, and in the next video we'll finish this up. I think you're already getting the idea, but I want to use some more Excel features in order to format this worksheet so it's even more human friendly to look at.